Chapter 23. A Breach in Shadows. The road leading to Nemesis's Genesis node stretched endlessly, a winding path through barren fields shrouded in the pale light of a waning moon. The team's van moved steadily forward, its tires kicking up faint clouds of dust that dissipated into the night. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with tension, each passenger lost in their own thoughts. The hum of the engine was a steady backdrop, punctuated occasionally by the quiet beeping of Samira's tablet as she tracked their progress and monitored the facility's drone activity. Michael sat rigid in the passenger seat, his fingers tapping absently against his thigh. His mind raced through the plan, turning over every detail and searching for cracks. The responsibility of leadership sat heavily on his shoulders now, every decision he made carrying the potential to save or destroy them all. 5 minutes out, Anderson announced from the driver's seat, his sharp tone breaking the silence. His eyes flicked briefly to Michael before returning to the road. Checkpoint ahead. Looks fortified. Michael nodded, his jaw tightening. We stick to the plan. Everyone knows their roles. No improvising unless absolutely necessary. In the back, Gabriel adjusted the strap on his rifle, his movements quick and deliberate. He'd already checked his weapon 3 times since they'd left the safe house, but the act seemed more about settling his nerves than ensuring functionality. What's the play if things go sideways? He asked, his voice laced with equal parts sarcasm and genuine concern. Michael turned to face him, his expression calm but firm. Then we adapt. We've handled worse. Gabriel snorted softly, shaking his head. Sure. Just another routine infiltration into a high-security Nemesis facility. Drones are active, Samira interrupted, her eyes glued to her tablet. Their patrols match the intel we gathered. No deviations yet. I'll be able to scramble them, but the window will be tight. How tight? Michael asked, leaning toward her. 6 to 7 minutes before they reset. We'll have to move fast. Michael gave a curt nod. Good. Disable them when we're in position. As they neared the checkpoint, Anderson slowed the van, his eyes scanning the area with practiced precision. The road narrowed, funneled into a single lane, bordered by high fences and floodlights. 2 sentries stood by a reinforced gate, their rifles slung across their chests. Overhead, a surveillance drone hovered, its searchlight sweeping methodically across the pavement. Showtime, Anderson muttered, rolling down his window as the van rolled to a stop. Michael leaned slightly forward, adopting a relaxed posture that belied his readiness to act. The lead sentry approached the driver's side, his face set in a mask of suspicion. Identification, he demanded, his voice clipped and authoritative. Anderson handed over the forged credentials, his expression unreadable. The sentry took his time scanning the documents, his sharp eyes flicking toward the van's occupants. Gabriel's grip on his weapon tightened subtly, but he remained still. State your purpose, the sentry said, his tone edged with suspicion. Equipment delivery, Anderson replied smoothly. Priority requisition from Central Command. Check your logs. The sentry hesitated, then turned to a terminal mounted beside the gate. He tapped at the screen, the faint glow illuminating his face. After a tense moment, he nodded and stepped back. You're clear. Move through. Anderson nodded curtly and eased the van forward as the gate creaked open. The moment they passed through, Gabriel let out a low whistle. I can't believe that worked. Don't celebrate yet, Michael said, his eyes scanning the facility's perimeter as it came into view. The hard part's still ahead. The Genesis node loomed like a monolith in the valley below, its steel and concrete structure an imposing presence against the dark landscape. The facility's perimeter was a fortress. Towering fences topped with razor wire encircled the compound, and watchtowers with armed guards stood sentinel at each corner. Floodlights swept rhythmically across the grounds, casting stark shadows that shifted with an eerie fluidity. There, Samira whispered, pointing to a maintenance entrance near the east side of the compound. It's the least guarded entry point. I can disable the sensors, but once we're inside, we'll have to move quickly. The drones will reset in 15 minutes. Michael turned to Anderson, who had parked the van in a patch of dense foliage just beyond the facility's surveillance range. Stay with the van. Keep the engine running. If things go south, we'll need a quick extraction. Anderson nodded, his gaze steady. Just don't make me wait too long. Michael, Gabriel, and Samira exited the van, moving swiftly and silently toward the facility. The night air was sharp and cold, their breaths visible in the moonlight. Gabriel took point, his weapon at the ready, while Samira tracked their movements through her tablet. Michael brought up the rear, his senses tuned to the slightest sound or movement in the shadows. When they reached the maintenance entrance, Samira knelt by the control panel, her fingers moving deftly over the interface. The faint click of the lock disengaging was a welcome sound, and she pushed the door open, revealing a narrow corridor bathed in harsh fluorescent light. "We're in," she whispered. Michael motioned for them to proceed. The air inside was cool and sterile, the faint hum of machinery reverberating off the walls. The corridor stretched ahead, intersecting with a series of smaller passages that led deeper into the facility. Gabriel paused at the first junction, peering around the corner. "2 guards. They haven't seen us." Michael nodded. "We take them out quietly. No alarms." Gabriel moved first, his steps silent as a shadow. In one swift motion, he incapacitated the nearest guard, catching him before he could hit the ground. Michael followed with equal precision, neutralizing the second guard and dragging him into an alcove. They secured the guard's weapons and pressed forward. Samira's voice was barely audible. "The server room is 3 levels down. We'll need the service elevator." Michael frowned. Elevators mean cameras. "I'll loop the feed," Samira said, already accessing the elevator's control panel. "But we'll have 90 seconds at most." The elevator ride was tense, the silence broken only by the soft hum of the machinery. Michael's pulse quickened as the doors slid open, revealing the server room beyond. It was a vast, cavernous space filled with rows of blinking servers, their hum almost deafening in the enclosed space. Samira wasted no time, connecting her tablet to the main terminal. "Uploading the virus now. This will take about 3 minutes." Michael and Gabriel took up defensive positions near the entrance, their weapons trained on the corridor. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as the progress bar on Samira's tablet inched forward. "We've got company," Gabriel hissed, spotting a squad of Nemesis operatives approaching. "Hold them off," Michael ordered, his voice calm but firm. "Samira, status?" 80%, she replied, her focus unbroken. The first shots rang out, sharp and deafening. Michael and Gabriel returned fire, their movements precise and coordinated. Sparks flew as bullets ricocheted off the metal walls, the air thick with the acrid stench of gunpowder. 95%, Samira called out, her voice tight with urgency. "Make it fast," Michael shouted over the chaos. The virus completed its upload, just as another wave of operatives rounded the corner. Samira disconnected her tablet and nodded to Michael. "It's done!" "Fall back," Michael barked. The team fought their way back to the elevator, the corridors erupting with gunfire. When the elevator doors closed, the sound of the battle faded to a distant echo. As they ascended, Michael's mind raced. They'd succeeded. For now. When they reached the surface, Anderson was waiting, the van's engine idling. "Move," he shouted. The team piled in, and Anderson floored the accelerator. Behind them, the facility's lights flickered and died, a testament to their efforts. But the weight of their mission remained heavy. They had taken down one node, but the war was far from over. Michael sat in silence, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "1 node down," he murmured, "and miles to go."